The gentle embrace of morning settled over Mossberry Woods, a haven of tranquility nestled far from the clamor of the human world. It was a time of quiet awakening, a peaceful transition from the deep slumber of night to the soft bustle of day. The forest stirred slowly, each element stretching and yawning in its own unique way, much like a child emerging from beneath the comforting weight of a favorite blanket. High above, in the emerald canopy, tiny birds, their feathers still ruffled from sleep, hopped with delicate precision from one dew-kissed branch to another. Their chirps were not the loud, boisterous calls of midday, but rather sleepy melodies, soft and hesitant, as if they were still testing the air with their voices, easing themselves into the day's song. A tender breeze, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and unfolding blossoms, whispered secrets through the leaves of the ancient trees. It danced playfully amongst the branches, causing the foliage to sway ever so gently, creating a mesmerizing ballet of light and shadow. The leaves rustled softly, their whispers like the murmuring of 1,000 tiny voices sharing secrets of the night. Below, the meadow grass still wore its exquisite jewelry, countless little crowns of morning dew. Each droplet, perfectly formed and shimmering with an ethereal glow, captured the nascent sunlight, transforming into tiny, sparkling stars scattered across the green expanse. As the sun climbed higher, these dewy jewels would gradually vanish, returning to the earth, but for now, they adorned the landscape with a touch of magic. Here and there, the busy inhabitants of the woods began their day with quiet movements. A fluffy-tailed squirrel, its fur the color of warm cinnamon, stretched languidly on the rough bark of an oak tree, its tiny claws finding purchase with practiced ease. It yawned, a surprisingly wide gape for such a small creature, before beginning its ascent towards the higher branches, its eyes already scanning for the first nuts of the season. Bees, their fuzzy bodies still dusted with the pollen of their morning rounds, stirred within their hives, their yawns manifesting as gentle, almost inaudible buzzes, a collective hum that spoke of the community awakening. The whole world of Mossberry Woods seemed to hold its breath in a state of quiet anticipation, a moment of perfect peace and profound safety before the full energy of the day unfolded. The sunlight, still soft and golden, began to peek shyly through the dense layers of leaves overhead. It painted the forest floor in dappled patterns of light and shadow, creating an ever-shifting mosaic of warmth and coolness. The air itself seemed to shimmer with a gentle radiance, illuminating the delicate details of the natural world. If one paused and truly listened, beyond the rustling leaves and the birdsong, there were even more subtle sounds to be heard. The tiny droplets of dew, disturbed by a passing ladybug or the gentle sway of a blade of grass, would occasionally fall from the tips of flower petals, plink, plink, a delicate percussion that sounded like a tiny forest piano, its notes as fleeting and precious as the morning itself. It was a symphony of the quiet, a reminder of the intricate and often overlooked beauty that surrounded every corner of Mossberry Woods. A place where even the smallest sounds held significance and contributed to the overall harmony of the dawn. The very air felt calm and inviting, promising a day filled with gentle adventures and peaceful moments for all who called this enchanting place home. Deep within the verdant embrace of Mossberry Woods, nestled snugly beneath the protective canopy of a sprawling wild rose bush, resided a tiny creature whose love for slumber was legendary throughout the forest. His name was Toby, and he was a small, endearing hedgehog with a passion for sleep that seemed to surpass even the vastness of the woods he inhabited. He wasn't merely dozing, he was immersed in the profound depths of a deep, restorative sleep, curled into a perfect, compact little ball of soft brown quills and a velvety underbelly. His tiny, pointed nose twitched ever so subtly now and then, a delicate movement that hinted at the vivid adventures unfolding within the landscape of his dreams. If one observed him closely, with patience and a gentle eye, one might even notice his small, pink paws wiggling rhythmically, as if he were paddling through some fantastical realm in his sleep, perhaps floating on a cloud made of spun sugar or traversing a river of warm milk. Toby was, without a doubt, the coziest hedgehog in all of Mossberry Woods, a fact well known and affectionately regarded by all of his forest friends. He had earned a special title among them, a testament to his remarkable talent for peaceful repose. He was fondly known as the Sleepy King. No one in Mossberry Woods possessed the same remarkable ability to drift into such profound and seemingly endless naps as Toby. His talent was not viewed with envy, but rather with a touch of admiration and a general understanding that sleep was simply Toby's greatest gift, his unique way of experiencing and appreciating the world around him. While other creatures busied themselves with foraging, playing, or exploring, Toby found his greatest joy and fulfillment in the quiet realm of his dreams. His slumber was not a sign of laziness, but rather an integral part of who he was, a gentle soul who found solace and wonder in the landscapes of his own imagination. His reputation as the Sleepy King was not one of derision, but rather of endearment. The other animals understood that Toby's naps were essential to his well-being, a time for him to recharge his tiny body and replenish his gentle spirit. They often went about their activities with a degree of quiet respect when they knew Toby was sleeping, understanding the importance of not disturbing his peaceful slumber. They knew that when Toby finally awoke, he would greet them with a warm, sleepy smile and perhaps even share some of the wondrous adventures he had experienced in his dreams. To the inhabitants of Mossberry Woods, Toby's deep sleep was simply another charming facet of their unique and harmonious community, a reminder that there were many different ways to enjoy and engage with the beauty of the forest. His talent for napping was as much a part of the fabric of Mossberry Woods as the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, and the gentle flow of the nearby stream. The humble abode of Toby, the Sleepy King, was not merely a burrow in the ground. It was a meticulously crafted sanctuary, a cozy haven that seemed to have sprung directly from the pages of a beloved fairy tale. Situated deep within the protective embrace of the wild rose bush, Toby's home was built with an artist's care, utilizing a delightful collection of nature's finest materials. Soft, velvety petals, shed by the very roses that sheltered him, formed a fragrant and colorful carpet. Fine, fragrant pine needles, gathered from the nearby evergreen trees, provided a sturdy and insulating framework. Smooth, tiny stones, covered in patches of vibrant green moss, acted as miniature walls, adding both structure and charm. And an abundance of gently curled up leaves, in shades of russet, gold, and emerald, were artfully arranged to create a snug and welcoming interior. The entrance to this enchanting dwelling was marked by a small, carefully chosen twig, which served as a rustic door, providing a touch of privacy and security. Adding to the whimsical charm of Toby's home were several tiny firefly lanterns. These weren't lanterns in the traditional sense, but rather carefully positioned fireflies, whose gentle, bioluminescent glow illuminated the interior at night. They cast a soft, flickering light, creating a magical ambience, perfect for when Toby indulged in his favorite evening pastime, reading bedtime stories from tattered pages of bark he had found. Inside his cozy dwelling, the air was always filled with a comforting and delightful aroma, a unique blend of the fresh, woodsy scent of pine cones and the delicate, sweet fragrance of rosewater, a natural perfume emanating from his petal-strewn floor. For bedding, Toby possessed a truly special treasure, his beloved leaf blanket. This wasn't just any blanket, it was a masterpiece of natural craftsmanship, carefully made from numerous maple leaves that had been painstakingly stitched together with strands of soft spider silk, creating a covering that was both warm and wonderfully tactile on this particular morning, as the world outside began to stir with the gentle sounds of awakening. Toby remained peacefully ensconced within his leafy haven, snuggled deeply beneath his cherished maple leaf blanket. He was far away in the captivating realm of dreams, his tiny body completely relaxed and content. In his current dream, he was experiencing the exhilarating sensation of floating through gentle wind tunnels, the air rushing softly around him, lifting him and carrying him on invisible currents. Interspersed with these breezy adventures were visions of fluffy clouds, not the gray, rain-laden kind, but magnificent cumulus formations that appeared to be made entirely of soft, pillowy marshmallows, promising a sweet and weightless landing should he ever choose to descend. Outside, the bustling activity of Mossberry Woods was steadily increasing, but within the quiet sanctuary of Toby's home, time seemed to stand still, allowing the Sleepy King to continue his peaceful journey through the wondrous landscapes of his own dreaming mind, undisturbed by the awakening world around him. His home was truly a reflection of his gentle nature, a place of comfort, peace, and endless possibilities within the realm of slumber. Beyond the quiet sanctuary of Toby's rosebush burrow, the vibrant energy of Mossberry Woods was steadily unfolding, with all of Toby's many forest friends already awake and engaged in their morning routines. A lively family of rabbits, their noses twitching with perpetual curiosity, were busily digging new tunnels in the soft earth, their fluffy white tails bobbing like cotton balls as they excavated and explored. They were also diligently searching for their breakfast, their sharp eyes scanning the undergrowth for the telltale signs of juicy carrots or tender clover leaves. High in the branches of a towering oak tree, a family of young owlets were embarking on their very first flying lessons. Their clumsy attempts to take flight often resulted in comical tumbles onto the soft carpet of moss below, accompanied by soft, muffled giggles that echoed through the morning air. Their enthusiasm outweighing their initial lack of skill, even the smallest inhabitants of Mossberry Woods were diligently occupied. A long line of bright red ladybugs, their black spots gleaming in the sunlight, tiptoed with delicate precision across the broad leaves of a nearby plant, seemingly engaged in some important, tiny mission. Near the gnarled and spreading roots of an ancient beech tree, a colony of industrious ants was hard at work, their tiny bodies bustling with purposeful energy as they constructed intricate sand castles, miniature fortresses of grains and pebbles, a testament to their collaborative spirit. The forest was alive with a symphony of activity, a vibrant tapestry woven with the threads of life, laughter, and constant motion. From the rustling of leaves stirred by the gentle breeze to the chirping of birds overhead and the scurrying of small feet on the forest floor, Mossberry Woods was a hive of daytime energy and cheerful interactions. Yet, amidst all this bustling activity and joyful noise, there remained one pocket of profound quietude, one small haven where the world seemed to move at a different pace. This was the cozy burrow nestled beneath the wild rose bush, the peaceful domain of the tiny hedgehog. While the rest of Mossberry Woods was embracing the awakening of the day with enthusiasm and purpose, within Toby's leaf-lined dwelling, the Sleepy King continued his peaceful slumber, oblivious to the lively scene unfolding just beyond his twig door. He remained deeply immersed in the world of his dreams, his gentle breathing the only sound to be heard within his snug retreat. The contrast between the energetic world outside and the tranquil stillness within Toby's burrow highlighted his unique place in the Mossberry Woods community. A gentle soul who found his own special way to connect with the magic and wonder of the forest, often through the captivating landscapes of his sleeping hours. While his friends in Mossberry Woods were busily engaging with the waking world, Toby remained blissfully unaware, his mind embarking on a series of extraordinary adventures within the boundless realm of his dreams. He wasn't worried about missing out on the morning's activities. For Toby, dreaming was not merely a passive state of rest, but rather an active and vibrant exploration of magical possibilities. In one whimsical dream, he found himself dancing on the fluffy, white heads of dandelions, their delicate seeds tickling his tiny feet with a sensation that made him giggle with delight. Each step he took sent a flurry of the feathery seeds floating into the air, creating a sparkling cloud around him as he twirled and leaped with surprising agility. In another fantastical episode, Toby experienced the exhilarating sensation of soaring through the sky, not on his own small legs, but rather perched comfortably on the broad back of a magnificent butterfly. This was no ordinary butterfly, its wings shimmered with an ethereal, internal glow, radiating a soft, warm light that illuminated their path through the azure expanse. As they flew, the wind whispered secrets in Toby's ear, carrying the scent of faraway meadows filled with sweet nectar. He gazed down at the forest below, the trees looking like tiny green broccoli florets, and waved a friendly paw at a passing cloud that resembled a giant, fluffy sheep. One of Toby's favorite dream activities was collecting stardust. In his dreamscape, the stars weren't distant pinpricks of light, but rather tangible, glittering particles that drifted down from the night sky like shimmering snow. He would carefully gather these celestial treasures in a small acorn cup, its smooth interior lined with soft moss. The stardust felt cool and magical in his paws, and he knew that he would use it later to sprinkle over his dreams, making them even more vivid and enchanting. In another dream, he found himself floating gently above the towering trees of Mossberry Woods, suspended in the air as if he were a weightless leaf carried on a gentle breeze. From this elevated vantage point, he would whisper a soft hello to the crescent moon, which always seemed to smile back at him with a warm and knowing gaze. Occasionally, he would even take a leisurely bounce on the fluffy, white clouds that drifted by, each one humming a soft, soothing lullaby that filled the air with a sense of profound peace and tranquility. Toby's dreams were far more than just simple naps, they were vibrant, imaginative journeys filled with wonder and delight, each one leaving him feeling refreshed and inspired in his own unique, sleepy way. But this morning, with brighter light and livelier forest sounds, curiosity nudged Toby. Not just sleepy contentment, but a gentle wish for adventure stirred within. Slowly, he blinked open one eye. The world outside his twig door seemed brighter, and the scent of berries drifted in. He rubbed his nose and whispered, "Today, I'll explore. I'll stay awake. I promise." It felt both exciting and new. A huge yawn escaped him, so big the ladybugs seemed to watch. Despite the strong pull of sleep, determination flickered. He slowly uncurled, stretched, and carefully peeked through his door, his nose twitching with anticipation and a little fear of the world beyond. The sunlight beckoned, promising new sights if he could stay awake. Sunlight warmed Toby's fur, promising a good day if he could stay awake. Emerging, sleep sparkles seemed to float from his quills. He shook himself gently. He brushed his teeth with a mint leaf, the fresh scent helping him wake. Finished, he tidied his leaf blanket. Ready, he took a deep breath and stepped out from his rose bush, his tiny claws on the mossy ground. He began his slow journey towards the woods, determined to see what lay beyond his dreams. The sunlit forest awaited, leaving the rose bush, mossberry woods felt like a beautiful painting. The world was more alive than imagined. Bees hummed, ladybugs tiptoed. Squirrels waved, calling him over. Toby smiled, thinking, "This is what I've been missing." A butterfly landed on his nose and fluttered away. Toby giggled and followed. Squirrels invited Toby to hide and seek. "You count," they chirped. Toby closed his eyes and counted slowly. Before he reached 5, he sneezed loudly, achoo. Everyone burst into giggles. After hide and seek, the animals gathered in a sunny clearing and sang. Toby joined in, tapping his foot. He sang silly verses about forest creatures. But mid-song, big yawns overtook him, and then, plop. Toby lay down in the sunshine and fell fast asleep. As Toby slept in the sun, a leaf landed on his belly, tickling him slightly. Birds sang softly above, as if guarding his nap. He dreamt of floating in a walnut shell boat on a chocolate syrup river. Slowly, Toby woke as the sun climbed higher. He stretched, sat up, and looked around the empty clearing. "Oh no," he whispered, seeing paw prints and snack crumbs. "I did it again." He sighed, thinking maybe dreaming was best. Just then, his friends jumped out from behind a bush, yelling, "Surprise!" They had been waiting all along. "We made this for you," said the owl, giving Toby a shimmering leaf badge, #1 napper of Mossberry Woods. Toby was surprised. "Really? Napping is special?" The bunny giggled. "Of course. You dream better than anyone." The others agreed. Toby realized his dreams had value. A warm feeling filled him. The squirrel added, "Your dreams bring magic we don't see." The owlet chirped, "You always wake up smiling, and that makes us smile too." Toby looked at the badge, thought of his dream journeys, and smiled. "Then I guess I really am a napper. A happy, dreaming napper." He proudly pinned the badge on his chest. His friends cheered. As the afternoon sun lowered, the forest glowed. Toby's tummy rumbled. "Time for dinner," he said. They went to their favorite berry patch, munching and giggling about their morning, including Toby's sneeze and his new badge. The air smelled sweet. And everyone felt happy. After dinner, the air cooled. Fireflies blinked. Frogs sang. The forest slowed down. Toby breathed deeply. "What a beautiful day," he whispered. "I'm glad I tried." He felt content, knowing even his sleepiness had led to something special back at the rose bush, Toby's family waited under the moonlight. Toby waddled over and snuggled next to his mom. "Did you have a good adventure today, little dreamer?" she asked gently. Toby nodded sleepily. The best. He was ready for another night of wonderful dreams.